Well.
Well, look what we have here.
And I invented Fortnite in 2011. Let's go.
How to play Gear Chronicle.
I talk this to my mom sometimes. She's like, I'm amazed I let you go that time. Here's a hack to how to watch anime at 6 times speed.
Wake up at 5 a.m. Hot yoga.
I really love Vanguard as an IP, so whenever there's anything Vanguard related, I want to do it.
Does he really need any introduction at this point? Chris, aka DifferentFight, one of the biggest content creators for Cardfight Vanguard, and I'm proud to share the title of Shadowverse Evolve English Edition Ambassador with him. But not only is he one of the biggest voices for the game, he's also a competitive level player, he's a doctorate student, and he has a job. How does he keep on top of it all? How did one of the most influential players of Cardfight Vanguard start the game in the first place? And what does Bakugan have to do with it? And of course, what deck is he going to teach me, a new Cardfight Vanguard player, today? Welcome to Twindrive, learning Cardfight Vanguard together, one deck at a time, where I, somebody who's new to the scene, learns about not only the game, but also the community by interacting with the people who make it happen. Let's jump right into the video, but first make sure to like the video and subscribe. It really does help out. Chris, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me as well, Mr. Twindrive. It's not Twindrive, it's Twindrive.
That's right. It's one word. Please get it right. I feel like it's almost redundant to introduce you. I'm the newcomer into this scene here. Meanwhile, you're over there like...
Self-introduce yourself on your own channel.
You're Mr. Vanguard.
I mean, I've been playing Vanguard since I was 15, so for about 13 years now, approaching half my life at this point. So I'm always very happy to see new people get into it. I mean, you and I played quite a bit while you were in Japan when you first picked up the game, but it's nice that you can now discover it more with a lot of the people that you're meeting through this channel now as well.
When you were still learning Shoujo Doji, I just got rocked by it immediately, and then lo and behold, a week later, everyone's like, yeah, it's the best, one of the best decks in the format. So it's like, yeah, there you go.
Well.
Well, look what we have here. Well, I guess we can start there, Chris. When did you discover Vanguard, and how'd you get into it in the first place? Like, basically, as soon as it came out, you were in it.
I didn't get into it right when it came out in Japan. It came out in like at the beginning of 2011 in Japan, and I got into it on like October, November-ish, so like almost a year after it came out, and then the English version of it came out soon after. I always liked card/toy anime. I really like Yu-Gi-Oh! I really enjoyed watching like Bakugan, Beyblade, beat 'em on, like stuff like that. And so I always kind of had like a soft spot for those kind of things. And then when Vanguard came out, there was also like the second generation of beat 'em on, which were like the, you know, the little dudes that shoot marbles out of their stomach.
Right.
So I watched the first couple episodes of that, and I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. And at the same time, Vanguard had come out and it had about like 30-ish episodes out. Bakugan had just ended, like completely. There's a character with like blue, long, wavy hair. And there was a Vanguard character that had white, wavy hair. I saw random fan art of the two of them like standing against each other, like crossed arms. And then I saw the tag on Pixiv that said Cardfight Vanguard. I was like, what is this? So I was like, I'll check that out too. And then I was like, oh my god, this is like revolutionary card game anime, because until then, majority of card game anime followed the Yu-Gi-Oh formula, where it was like, you know, save the world and like fight to save my friend and stuff like that. The original Vanguard anime is literally about a dude that's trying to get good at card games. He starts out with a very random stuff put together deck, and he's going to locals, he's buying packs, like pulling stuff, upgrading his deck, getting beat up and eating a lot of games and a lot of losses. It was a very unique thing to me that I like played it online for the first time. We had a completely different simulator back then called Cardfight Capital, which ran on Beyond. I don't know if these words are probably like...
Oh my lord! I think I do know what Beyond is, but that's like, you're on some old timing right there with that one.
And then as soon as the English version first released, I basically got into it and like played with my little brother with like the first 2 trial decks for like 4 or 5 months, until I one day Googled Cardfight Vanguard Luxembourg and found out that there's a locals that sells the game. And then that's literally thanks to me Googling that, I'm basically where I am now. I found my first ever locals, started competing, traveling, doing videos, all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of like my beginnings, I guess.
In an alternate universe, you Googled something else that day. You Googled like Fortnite funnies or something.
And I invented Fortnite in 2011. Let's go. It's very much like the anime characters that led me to discover the game in the first place, which is why I think like having an anime-based card game still around in this day of like IP-based card games is very important for people like me that really prefer that kind of medium.
I mean, to be honest, that does link in a little bit to my own experience. I tried Dear Days when it came out, but it didn't really grab me as much as I would have liked it to. The reason why I started delving deeper into Cardfight Vanguard in the first place is because I saw everyone on Twitter memeing about Divines. I'm like, what's this about? Check it out. And I was like, wait, this show is good. So I kind of share the same sentiment as you. you, where I think the anime is really important for like getting people invested in the game, especially since like even like the mechanics of the deck itself tie into like, you know, the development of the characters as well, which I found very interesting. So when the fights would happen, I'm like, I see where the narrative stakes are, and then the fact that it's translated into gameplay as well is very, very cool. So,
and I feel like the game's kind of made to be entertaining to watch, which works really well with an anime medium as well.
That's true. That's true. Is it like a secret that you used to be a Bakugan guy? You used to have a Bakugan blog?
No, I mention on my stream pretty often. Like I was really big into Bakugan. I still like back in my parents' house. Like I think everything is still there. Like I played Yu-Gi-Oh, played Bakugan, played Pokemon like for quite a long time. And then after Vanguard came out, I kind of like just focused everything into Vanguard for a very long time until like recent years, where nowadays I like dabble into a bunch of card games on the side.
I guess after Bakugan ended, you were sort of like primed mentally to
kind of looking for something new. Yeah,
I feel like that's true. I feel like everyone's just looking for the next obsession that they want to get into. Like everybody wants something that they can sink hundreds of hours into. And I personally got into card games at a much later age. Like I'm the same as you. I played Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid. I think everybody did, right? Basically. But I didn't know anything about it. I was one of those people who were like, more cards in deck better. I'd rock up with a 200 card deck and get rocked every time. Like, I don't understand. This game's dumb. And then I came back with the advent of digital card games, and that's what got me into physical, so I went the other way, kind of. What do you think is like the impact of the digital card game sphere on people discovering Vanguard, or is it negligible?
With Vanguard itself, I'm not too sure. I think Vanguard Zero was a very big part of that in that sense. I think when digital card games first came out with Hearthstone, technically MTG Online was always a thing, but that was kind of different. You had to pay for everything. But Hearthstone coming out, I remember a lot of people were dooming back in the day. They were like, oh, this is the end of physical card games. Like, nobody will want to pay for cards anymore. Like, it's all going to be online. Not only was it not true then, but especially during COVID, I think, and after COVID, people really realized this is not gonna be the case.
Yeah, when people realize they actually like talking to people and meeting people in real life.
Yeah, right. The social aspect of this social hobby is actually quite nice. I think for Vanguard, specifically Vanguard Zero being around for the 3.5 years that it was around for, it came out right when COVID started, and also during, I'd say, the most, I guess, interesting to an extent, but very unbalanced and very like power creepy part of Vanguard's history, where there were no tournaments to begin with. So it was like, you know, the IP needs to stay alive somehow, and Zero definitely kept it alive during that period. Definitely served its purpose, and I think in that sense, like, it's always fun to meet people at tournaments these days. They're like, oh, I actually started from Zero. Like, I got into the game because I first found Zero. So in that sense, a lot of people got brought into physical Vanguard thanks to Zero in that sense. But it was also because a lot of Zero's players were like, oh, I watched the anime as a kid, or like my older sibling played Vanguard, but I didn't have the money to do it, and now I got into it, kind of thing. It was definitely like an interesting dynamic where, like, maybe with like Shadowverse and Evolve, there is some crossover, but it's not as much where it's like, oh, this is that card game I remember as a kid that now has a digital version that I can now get back into because I have money, kind of thing. You know, where Shadowverse, like, it's always been around, and Evolve is now just there as like a additional way to enjoy it.
Do you think it like helped your channel at all, the Zero, or were you always more on the physical side?
I've been doing this channel of mine for 11 years now.
Congratulations, by the way. It was very recently that you celebrated your channel's birthday.
I've been doing physical for a long time. My first big burst of popularity, I guess, in the channel was I used to do skits called How to Plays that people still to this day always ask me to make more.
How to play Gear Chronicle.
Generation Zone 解放 Pride Generation.
Okay, so attack.
That was like my first kind of big jump, and then I always enjoyed doing this kind of like analytical, like meta-analysis content and stuff like that. But then Zero was very good because a lot of people were obviously looking for something to play when the pandemic started, and then a very famous Pokemon YouTuber called Shady Penguin got into Vanguard Zero when it came out, and in one of his first videos he was like, if you want to know anything about the game, check out DifferentFight. And then I just like, boom, like thousands of subs in like a week or something. And I think it's partially because I really love Vanguard as an IP. So whenever there's anything Vanguard related, I want to do it. If there is a Vanguard game, like before Deer Days, there was Vanguard EX on the Switch, and I really enjoyed that. I streamed everything, put like a full playthrough on YouTube. People watched that, and that also gave me a huge growth burst. Zero, it came out in Japanese. It didn't have much viewers. People didn't really care about it until the English release, but I was already covering it because I was like, well, I love everything Vanguard, so I want to cover everything Vanguard, right? Whereas a lot of other people, they just only really play the game and they cover the game. And I think part of the reason why my channel's kind of like is where it is right now is because I just really love the Vanguard IP. So whenever there's anything Vanguard I can show off that I think is cool, then it's like, here you go. Like, did you know that Vanguard had its own cafe?
How do you like make the jump from watching the anime, playing it casually, to becoming a competitor at these top level events?
The original Vanguard anime advertised that this is part of the process kind of thing. So it's like they go to shop tournaments. So it's like you're like, okay, I should probably find a shop tournament. And then after that, they do a road trip with like a car and like the group of people from the locals, they go to the regionals. You're like, oh, I should probably do that too. So I remember when I first found my locals, I went to the locals a bunch. I grew up in Luxembourg. The closest regional location was either Paris or Dusseldorf in Germany. And they were both about like 3 to 4 hour drive. After finding my locals, like maybe 3-4 months later, the question came up, is like, okay, who wants to go to the Paris regionals for the World Championship qualifiers? And it was the very first event in Europe, I think, too. I remember I was like, I'd love to, like, right? It's like, it sounds so exciting to like travel for a card game, right? It's just like the anime. Oh my God. It was like me, one of my best friends that I met at my locals that is still one of my best friends to this day. And then a couple, basically like people in their like late 20s or 30s, I don't remember. But thinking about it now, I talk this to my mom sometimes. She's like, I'm amazed I let you go that time. Because I just went with like a bunch of people I've known for a couple months, you know, on a car ride for 4 hours to Paris. You never know what's going to happen. But that was kind of like my first experience of like traveling for a tournament. I didn't know how tournaments worked at the time. I was like taking every round, just having fun. I was like, oh my God, this is so great. It's my first time ever being able to do this. Years later, I talked to the people that I met at that event and they were like, did you know that if you would have beat me that time, you would have been top card? I was like, what? What do you mean? Ever since then, I always just like would travel around Europe. Even if I didn't necessarily place well, it was just like meeting people, seeing friends that I only see at those events that really had that magic. And so even now, like I always look forward to like Worlds, or debating even traveling around Asia a little bit now, because it's like I have friends in other parts of Asia or, you know, like Oceania that I only see at these events. And that's like the big attraction of going to them, is like spending time with those groups of people and like meeting new people there as well. So that's been kind of like the reason to compete, right? The motivator.
Right, yeah. And I absolutely agree with you. Like, as a person coming from digital card games into physical card games, I find that the social aspect is by far and away the most important thing about it that like separates this hobby from any other hobby.
That's why fighting games, I think, have been like managed to have such a big legacy, is that no matter how fighting games like popular or unpopular they are, it's the fact that it's the same as card games, where you have to go to a location to play offline, and like there's a person sitting next to you that you are physically next to, and you know, you can hear their buttons, you can read their movements from their body language kind of stuff. And it's like both fighting games and card games that I feel like are very similar, and what have led to both of those genres of gaming to last so long. With digital card games, it's like I really enjoyed when back in like 2017, I think they did like the dream hacks and stuff for Shadowverse.
Yeah, the World Circuit.
I pray they bring that back for Worlds Beyond, because it's just an element that you don't get from like the SVOs that are you just doing it from your home, you know.
So the last thing I want to mention before we talk about the deck you're bringing today is that actually you're not only a competitor at Cardfight Vanguard, you're not only a content creator, you also have a job and you're a doctorate student. So how do you do that? I bring this up because in the Vanguard anime recently, there was an episode with one Taizo, when it flashed back to Taizo's university life, and it's like, oh, I got work and I gotta go to uni and I gotta play Vanguard. And I'm like, wait a minute, I think I know this guy.
So it just kind of comes down to priorities. Like work and stuff isn't pressuring me as much, then I spend more time playing card games. I spend a fair bit of time watching stuff too, because I feel like I get inspired a lot on my content just from watching people from other games. So honestly, just scheduling. Like I think when I look at how much, like on a day that I don't schedule, it's like 11 a.m. and I'm like, all I've done is eat breakfast and watch YouTube. This is not good. Right. And then, you know, I try to beat myself up a little bit and like not let myself do that, and just make sure that I'm like spending my time as productively as possible. Not to the extent of like, you know, those like productivity YouTubers who are like, here's a hack to how to watch anime at 6 times speed.
Wake up at 5 a.m. hot yoga.
Yeah. Sometimes it does come with like saying no to, like if somebody invites me, like especially if somebody invites me out to like do something on the day of and I've already had something planned, I'm like, I kind of assess it as, okay, how urgent is the thing I need to do? If it's not, then I'll go be social. But if it's pretty urgent, then I don't like stop myself from saying no. I think it's important to have that kind of self-discipline a little bit in order to make sure you really do achieve the things that you want to achieve. But I do always think I could be doing better. Like honestly, I'm at a constant state of like, man, okay, I'm doing all this, but like it could be a bit better, could be a bit more optimal.
I feel that way too sometimes, where I'm like, oh, there's like so much more I could be doing, and I've kind of locked in over the past few weeks, and I'm doing a lot more these days. But I wanted to ask you, you know, because this is very pertinent to me as well, as also a content creator with a lot going on. Like, does it ever wear on you? Does it ever burn you out to have so much going on at any given point, or are you like energized by all the things that are?
Yeah, much more on that side. I hate not having anything to do. I hate feeling like I didn't achieve anything that day. Even when I'm sick, I try to be like, okay, at least let me like write a script or something. Or like, at least let me do some reading or something. Like, so at least I feel like something of use was done that day. If I let go initially, I'll be annoyed by it. And then if I, for example, get sick and don't do stuff for a few days, then I might like settle into that. And then it's like, whoa, don't do that. Because then it just becomes like a negative feedback loop.
Right. You kind of lose momentum in a way.
Yeah, and then you're just like, what am I doing?
I mean, that's amazing. Like, you just are always like, you know, powered by just all your passions and stuff.
But strictly only by my passions. I cannot do something that I don't enjoy. I did a programming degree for a year. I hated it. I was like, I cannot do this. You cannot force me to do something I don't enjoy.
That's fair enough. I did a programming degree for 3 years and I hated it, but I did it.
Well.
And now I'm not using it. I'm doing this instead. We're about to get into our games, but first, the concept of Twindrive is that I'm learning the game through the guest's favorite deck. And what deck have you brought for us today?
I have none other than my lady, Eva. I think viewers of my channel know very well that this is my favorite deck in Standard. I was really looking for a new main deck when Standard first started. Before Nations, we had clans, and instead of 6 nations, we had 24 clans.
Yes, that's true.
And nothing quite resembling my favorite clan was in Standard for a long time. And then whenever it came out, I was like, wait, this feels good. And then I stuck to it.
What about the deck vibes with you so much?
It's like until then, I basically just used whatever was tier 1. But Eva, I really enjoyed because it's a deck that's very flexible in the sense that it can really adapt to whatever game plan you need to adapt to. If you're playing against a deck that is weak against Rush, you can pivot towards that game plan. If you're playing against a deck that loses in the long game, you can pivot towards that game plan. You'll see when we play that it has this constant ability to search through the deck and just like cycle to the point that it's kind of like a time bomb where it's like, if you let the game drag on for long enough, my deck is all triggers and I'm just gonna blow you up. It feels like I'm playing Pokemon TCG in Vanguard, you know, because like Pokemon is notorious for like, you can search anything at any moment. But literally every single card in the 60 card deck, even if it's a 1-of, it contributes to you winning. And I feel like Eva is a very similar deck in that style, where you can play these 1-ofs and they will contribute towards every single game, which I think is probably my favorite part of the deck.
Let's get into the game. I'm gonna be playing Vispo as usual. It's the only deck I have, so.
Yep.
What was your biggest accomplishment? Winning a top 8 a regional with this?
Right when I discovered the first sort of list that made Eva good, we came second with my team at WGP Nagoya. But what was really sad is that I won my match and then both my teammates lost theirs in finals. So I was like, yes, we made it. We qualified for nationals, and then my friends lost.
But still, what an accomplishment. And you're like credited as like the guy who figured that out, right? Kinda.
I mean, you know, it's a community effort.
Yeah, for sure. All humble as always.
Some people credit me as the guy who made Eva's prices go up. So it depends how you look at it.
That's fair enough. All right, shall we begin? I got a 4.
Let me use one of these cool ambassador dice that we have.
Those weren't properly weighted, you know.
Oh, really? Let me use a real dice then.
Judge!
That is a 2.
Going first is usually better, right? Are there decks that prefer to go second? I'm still new, so I don't
know. There are indeed, but I think Vispo, generally speaking, likes to go first.
I'm on a 4.
Then I'm looking 4 as well. Be a bit more greedy here.
So I actually did play some games against Chris when I was in Japan. I was in Japan for like a month, and I had the pleasure of hanging out with Chris a lot. I'm sure he was sick of me by the end, but...
He always says this. Why do you always put me in this weird spot? I'm like, what do I say?
You're supposed to go, no, I wasn't. You were a fantastic company the whole time. Is that hard for you to say?
Yes. I am angry European man. What do you expect from me?
He actually did teach me that I had to have different sleeves for my ride deck. So.
Yeah, you do now. Very good.
That's right. I'm learning. Stand up, Vanguard.
Vanguard.
I go first, so I do draw. I will ride my grade 1 Benny and discard.
Did you discard 1?
Yes, I will do I discard? Okay, there you go. Oh, and I also get my energy crest. Also given to me by Chris with the Bab sleeves.
The little Bab sleeves.
What a generous man.
So I already have my energy generator up here. So I've busted out all the Eva merch. My sleeves are Eva.
I see it.
My energy generator is Eva. My everything is Eva. I'm gonna ditch one of the orders. So Eva functions around set orders called research orders that she searches out. So I'm gonna ride up, and then when the grade 1 is placed, she allows me to search my deck for a research card and add it to my hand.
Actually, I do have a question.
So,
when you do that, do you do the thing first, or do you draw first off of the grade 0 going second effect?
You can choose.
Oh,
so
really?
Whenever in Vanguard 2 effects happen at the same time, you choose which way to resolve them. I'm going to search out the energy research order. So this one helps me to find monster units, or kaiju in Japanese, which I will want to set in a later turn. And then I will draw from going second and get myself 3 energy. Since Eva is a Brancade deck, she functions, most Brancade decks function around set orders. So I'm going to set Experiment henceforth. So this set order says that I can only play when I have a Eva Vanguard, and in the order zone, it gives my Obscudate named rearguards the ability that they cannot be retired by my opponent's effects. So that's very nice to avoid, removal. And when I have 4 or more research cards set in my order zone, I can put this to the soul, countercharge 1, and get an Obscudate from my drop back to my hand. And since I'm going second, I can attack, so I'm going to go ahead and swing with 8k to your Vanguard.
I'll take it.
Check. Obscudate, so there's the man of the hour.
Damage check. Heal trigger, it doesn't matter.
Unfortunate. And with that, that's my turn.
Draw a card, sack Roro to ride, and I gain 3 energies. The beautiful cards.
Energized.
Simple and easy. You can see my mat is even beast.
Yeah, dude's locked in.
I will activate the grade 1 effect. When it gets ridden by a card named Benny, it gets called to rear guard. I think I will play my Kurumi Noa. Now, if my Vanguard is grade 3, I can use Energy Blast, but since I'm not, I do have to counter blast for this to find Roro from my deck. Or I can get it from my drop, but I will get it from my deck. Deck thinning is deck winning, I've heard.
That's right.
I've been told.
That is the first thing you learn about Vanguard.
When Roro comes into the rear guard, she puts a card from my drop into my soul. And I'll put Roro into soul, because I want Roro in soul for my Kurumi Noas in the future. This is already a better start than the last video. This is good stuff.
You got 3 attackers already going first.
I mean, if I lost 2 in a row against both players who I've fought so far have played the game for over 10 years, I wouldn't feel too bad about it.
I mean, it's also the good part of Vanguard is that you can do that.
So I'll attack with the Vanguard first, I believe.
So your Vanguard is 10, and your rear guards are what?
13, because it gets plus 5k, and this is 18.
In that case, I'll drop a heal, so it's going to be put me to 23. So this is going to be basically no pass.
No pass. So it's not anything anyway. And then I'll attack with the 13.
I'll take this one. So
okay.
1 damage, nothing.
Then I will attack with the 18.
So this one I'll also block, so 23. It's just a crit.
And when these 2 finish battle, they go into soul, and I draw a card. Oh, this also goes to soul. My bad.
Yep, I'll charge up to 6 energy and draw. I'm going to ditch the Obscurate that I drive check last turn and ride into grade 2 Eva. So grade 2 Eva has the same effect as the grade 1. So on ride, I search my deck for a research card and add it to my hand. So constant deck thinning as well. This time I'll search for the blue research lab. So this one is also very good. I can only use it next turn because it's the grade 3, but it allows you to look at top 5 and call 1, which is very, very nice. And then I will set the one I searched last turn. When it's set, I reveal the top 5 cards of my deck. From among them, I can find up to 2 monster cards, and one of them goes to hand, the other one goes to drop. So I only have 1.
Oh, that's the promo, right? I believe, Imigrar. I heard about this guy.
Yes, it is indeed. I will take this one. This one will go to my hand, and then the rest of these I shuffle back in.
I was thinking that set order looked familiar. I think is that also used in Arcade?
It is, yeah.
So I was like, that looks so familiar. What is it from? And I'm like, I remembered I played your Arcade once.
Yeah, we did. Unfortunately, I don't have too much to do early game here, unlike you. So I'm gonna have to just swing with a 10k here to Vanguard.
See, one thing I learned from my last game is that I should be blocking earlier, but
Also depends if you want counterblast.
yeah, right. So I think I do actually want to take this.
All right.
No crit, please.
Check. Perfect guard. So add that to hand.
Damage check.
And that's my turn.
I discard this to ride my grade 3. The whole reason the deck works in the first place. You know, I've been told this deck is better Barrow Magnus, but I don't know who that guy is.
He's just a guy, don't worry about him.
In my mind, Barrow Magnus is worse Benny.
That's true. That is also true. It goes both ways.
When Benny is ridden over the grade 2, the grade 2 calls out Kurumi Noa.
So good. Let me just search the best card in the deck.
That's right. This is a bit of inside baseball. I played this deck like a few days ago, and I'm like, just making sure to triple check that I'm not doing anything wrong, because I really don't want to mess up in front of all the people.
You good.
So there it is. And obviously her effect activates, where she can energy blast. Oh, I also get 3 energy.
Yeah, so you can just get it and use it immediately.
So right, King. I'll immediately use 3 energy to call Roro. And when Roro gets called out, I put something from my drop into soul. Put this one into soul.
Soul's looking pretty good now too, huh? Yeah, like what, 5-6?
I will also play Kurumi Noa.
Oh, okay. We got the whole squad out here.
And I will energy blast 3, since I am at grade 3, to get Roro.
That's your last one, right?
That is my last one.
And Roro gets 10k when you have how many of them in soul?
The Noah gets 10k when there's 2 Roros in soul, but only if the enemy Vanguard is grade 3.
Still chilling for now. Good. I prefer it to be chilling.
There's already 2 Roros in there, damn. That was fast. At the start of the battle phase, you get minus 5k to your Vanguard for every 5 cards in my soul. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So
Alright, I'll put this as a 5k for you.
I'll attack with the Kurumi Noa first for 18k.
18. How big is your... So it's technically, I guess, 23 because I'm minus 5, right? I'll drop a 15 to guard that.
And I will put these into soul, which puts me at 9, which does get me to the next threshold, which is nice. I do draw a card.
Urbo.
And then I will attack with the Benny. I wish I could call out Noah again, but I already have all my Rotos out, so I think I actually misplayed. Originally, when I put Roto from drop into soul, I could put this into soul instead, and then I could have another Roto come out here.
Hypothetically, yeah. So I guess that's a good note. It's like going second, you want to turbo through the bears, and going first, you can try to put other things into soul first.
I'm putting this into my mental note. Counter blast. If I have 4 or more, I can call something from my soul into rear guard. If I have 9 or more, she gets +1 drive. And if at 13, she gets a crit. Call this the grade 2. The grade 2, I put a card from my hand into soul and then draw a card, which is kind of nice.
And she gets some power too, so
Yeah, she gets
considering
+1.
I'm minus 5k, it's pretty nice.
What do I want to put into soul though? I've made the mistake before of putting too many shields into soul and then losing.
Oh, yeah, he's getting blown up.
But I think the only thing I can put is this.
That draw's okay. It's just a 10.
You never guess what I drew.
OT.
Nope, I drew another draw actually. So it's like
Ooh.
nothing happened.
Hiding.
13 triple drive. Doesn't get any power.
Yeah, but you technically gave me minus power, so it kind of gained power in a way. I think I'll no guard that. Gonna try to hit
Okay.
defensive here to make the rest easier to guard.
I like getting the triple drive because it puts so many more cards in hand. I feel so much more secure that way.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Good. Ooh, heal.
Heal. So it does give me a plus 10k, and I do heal 1. I'll put this one. Yeah, this one here. These are the things that I need to find out what are the actual optimal lines because I don't know which one I should put the power on.
The main lesson is like when you think about it, most triggers in the game are 15k shield. So you want to always try to make your columns in a way that asks for 2 cards to guard. So
Okay.
if you can, because if you swing with like 23 and stuff on a 13, that's 15k to block, so it's always 1 card. But if you make it 28, then unless it's like a front or something they defend with, it's going to be 2 cards. So that way you deplete your opponent's hand a lot faster. And at the end of the day, it's like the hand in Vanguard is like an HP bar in fighting games. It's like you want to try to deplete it.
So this is 23 now, essentially because of the minus 5k.
Yeah.
And this is 20k now, essentially because of the minus 5k.
So they're both technically 15 to block.
This is good news. I'm learning a lot.
So that was your
second
first check.
Nothing.
Ooh,
Third check.
counter card here.
Ooh, I got finally.
Hey, we got the order. 1 damage. Check. All right, this is Combine Rusher, so no defensive.
Is that an alt art?
Yes, normally it's a robot, but
I do not remember Combine Rusher looking like that, yeah.
one of the top Japanese players gave me shit for this. Like, I love your Max 30 Eva, but why do you run that alt art? I was like, but I like it. It looks like Xenoblade.
Do I attack with the higher column first, usually?
It kind of depends, but like I think the general logic to go by is attack with lowest first, because especially if, for example, if I were to take this and then your last attack wouldn't reach, that's bad.
Right, because if you check a trigger.
Defensive.
Yeah.
So the general rule of thumb is attack with lowest first.
So I'll attack with the 20.
The 20.
Well,
So
it's
I'm-
15, but you're at minus 5.
So I will drop a 15 for that.
Okay. And then I'll attack with the 28 plus 5, 33 kinda.
So I'll take that one too. And I get an upscalate, so no triggers.
I think I will keep this one on board actually.
In that case, the power resets, stand, charge up to 9, and draw. Here, I'm gonna ditch the Imigrar and ride up to Grade 3 Eva. Grade 3 Eva has several effects, but first things first, I'm gonna set my Blue Research Lab set order. So this set order says, when placed, I look at top 5 cards of my deck, and I can choose a card and call it. I think I'm gonna call out Combine Rusher. So Combine Rusher basically says that when it attacks a grade 3 or greater, it gets plus 10k power. And every time when it's in the drop zone that I set a order, I can count +1 to revive it.
Oh, okay.
Especially if you see this early, you can like turn 2, set an order, and then just like CB1 revive it, and you have like 2 attackers out of like thin air.
I see what you mean by like the deck can go more aggro mode if you need it to.
Exactly. Then I'm going to use Imigrar. He says, when I set or when I play a research card from my hand, I can pay 3 energy and revive him. So then he comes out and gets plus 2k power as well.
Okay.
Then Eva has a main phase effect. She can count +1, and then I look at the top cards of my deck equal to how many research cards I have set. So in this case, I will look at top 3, and I add 1 to hand without showing it to my opponent. So I'll add this to hand, and the rest will go to the bottom. And then she will technically also gain 5k power as well. She technically has a second effect where when she attacks, she can boss 1 and soul boss 1 to call a Obscudate from my deck or hand, but I can actually use Imigrar's second effect to basically transform her right off the bat. So I can use Imigrar's effect, which says if I have a Eva grade 3, then I can put it to soul and search my deck for Eva's second form, which is the Poison in Paradise Eva, and ride it. And then Eva says when she's placed on the Vanguard circle, I can search my deck for a research card. We're going to search for the one we set on turn 1. So search my deck for a research card, add it to my hand, and shuffle my deck. And then normally, I'm able to immediately activate Persona Ride from placing her.
Oh, okay.
However, Imigrar says that if this turn I rode, which I did, I rode into my first grade 3 Eva, then I cannot activate Persona Ride. So,
oh, thank God. Okay.
Persona Ride is still strictly on turn 4, so nothing to worry about too much. And so then, this Eva has basically the same effect as this one of like on attack call an Obscudate, but it's even better because this one says she calls the Obscudate and she gives herself and the Obscudate plus 5k, and she can call it from deck, hand, or drop as well. So even if I've like guarded with all of them, I can still revive them.
So why do you play the original form in the ride deck? Why not just play this one?
Because, so this one, in order to activate the search for the research card, she has to be placed over the original one.
Oh, okay. I see.
And in my opinion, the biggest thing that makes this deck so strong is that main phase skill of Counterblast 1 and add a card to hand. So it's like, you know, I'm not showing you what cards I'm adding, but it's like, if I see a perfect guard there, I add the perfect card.
Right.
If I see an important attacker, I add it to my hand. If I see like a front trigger and I just need like 20k shield, I just add it to hand.
Right.
So
okay.
It's very, that's what I really like about the deck. And it scales with every set order you have. So once I have like 4 or 5 in here, I'm looking at top 4 or 5 and I'm like, have a lot more to choose from as well. Now I can choose if I want to do 3 attacks this turn or 4. And I feel like I should probably save resources in hand because you're going to swing at me like 4 times next turn. I think I'm just going to go into battle phase over here. But before that, I'm going to use the second effect of the Blue Research Lab. So this card says I can rest 3 research cards in my order zone and Soul Blast 1 card. And then I choose a card with the Glitter ability, which Eva and Obscudate are both like, it's like a lore thing, but they have this effect called Glitter, which is just like a keyword. I basically give plus 5k to a unit with the Glitter ability, which Eva is. I am going to go into battle and attack with the Eva. So Eva says on attack, instead of counterblasting and soul blasting, I just take the original Eva and I bind it, and then search my deck, drop, or hand for an Obscudate. And one important ruling in case of like future decks that you play, which I guess Vispo kind of has it too. Whenever a card says search deck or drop, or like search deck or hand for a card and call it, you can choose to first search your deck and then whiff it, and then still select it from a different area that the effect specifies.
This is good news. So if I just want a shuffler, I can still do it.
Exactly. And even if you have the target, for example, like, you know, if you're searching for your Roro, right, you can say no target found because the deck is a private space that your opponent cannot check. So you can kind of like, I mean, lie, I guess, and just pretend that you whiffed it just to not search it if you for some reason don't want to, like not to deck out or something.
Right.
So I have a choice between, there's a grade 3 Obscudate and a grade 2 Obscudate. I don't like that field, so I think I'm gonna go for grade 2 Obscudate. So grade 2 Obscudate is a grade 2 that says as long as I have 3 or more research orders in my order zone, he gets plus 5k power and plus 5k shield. So he's a 15k attacker and a 10k shield. And he says when he's placed by an ability on Reguard Circle, if I have 3 or more research cards in my order zone, then when he attacks your entire front row in 1 attack.
What?
So he just like Dark Souls through your entire front row.
Yo, that's crazy. Do I have to block separately for each of them then?
Yes.
Whoa.
Or you can choose to no guard or block, like whichever one you want to do, and for each of them as well.
Can I use my intercept to block my thing and then it sort of like bypasses this attacking this?
No. So once I do declare the attack with this, then they're all engaged in battle basically.
Okay.
But the kind of counterplay is that I'm still attacking you with the Vanguard, and now you know that this is going to be attacking your front row.
So I can intercept.
You can intercept with them now to kind of like, you know, soften the damage. 23 to your Vanguard with 2 drives. Twindrive, rather.
Oh, no way.
Whoa.
5. So I'm at 18, 15. Okay, let's do it. That's 2 to pass.
First check. Front trigger. Uh-oh.
God.
So, Plus 10 here.
How
Very
could you?
nice.
I'm glad I used it for the shield now because I know that your Obscurity is going to do 5 more billion damage to my entire front row. Okay.
I mean, hey, if I check another trigger and put it all to Vanguard, then second check. Ooh, nothing. All right, you're
thank
lucky.
God. Okay.
For now.
Goodbye, Guardians.
These are basically both going to be the same. So I'm going to swing with this Obscurate first. Technically attacks your front row, but there's only one target, so 30k to Vanguard.
You can call out another guy after this, right?
Nope, that's all. Only 3 attacks this turn.
Oh, okay. I think I'll take this one. Damage check. Critical.
And then Combined Rusher says when it attacks the grade 3, he gets 10k. So this is also 30, but you're 23, so just 10k to guard.
This is 5 plus 5. A lot of shields have that, right?
Yep, exactly. All the draws are the same. And then at the end of my turn, the original Eva rides back. That's going to be my turn.
Oh, so maybe I should have taken more hits that turn. I don't think that through.
Yeah, you just got the 1 CB.
I'm going to play the order. Good luck, have fun. All my cards are Respo, so it's basically just a redraw.
Let's go.
I will put Benny into my hand. Oh, and I do get 3 energies. Don't forget. That's pretty important, actually.
Yeah, especially for this turn.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could set up a counter charger.
I only have 1 counter charger in the deck, and it's the one you gave me.
Never mind.
I'm still going to play the Sumire, I think, though. And I'll spend 3 energy to get Boyaneko.
Oh, your Neko.
He does not have a call to rearguard's effect because he's the one that gets plus shield from hand, so that's why he doesn't get a call to rearguard effect. Yeah, I can do 3 attacks this turn. Let's go.
You could technically do 4.
I could do 4 if I called the Benny, but I'd rather save it for...
Yeah. You want to save that for Persona.
Battle phase begins. Benny
Yeah.
activates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh!
Ooh, 1 short.
It also has a bind effect if it's 10 or more.
And that's annoying because all my Obscurades are 10k shields.
That's messed up that I'm 1 off.
I guess if you had Persona Ride, you would have gotten to 10 too.
You get minus 5k, and then I will attack with the Sumire first. She's 10k plus 8k, so 18k. And then because I played an order, she's plus 5k, so she's 23k. Actually, no.
Do you unlock any other effects if you put your rearguard column?
I do not, no.
Then I would probably swing Vanguard first.
I think Vanguard first is correct. Counterblast. You already know who's it. She's
There
back.
we go. The Lady of the Hour.
And that's 13 to face. Plus 5 from the effect.
So I think here what I'm going to do, I'm going to intercept with both of my rearguards first. So this is 10k and 5k, basically because I'm at 8. 23 is still 1 to pass, so I'm going to add another 5k here. This is 2 to pass.
Okay, triple drive. Let's go. Fog champ time.
Walk jam time.
Nope.
Yeah.
Second check. It's an over trigger.
Oh my god!
The Vispo one is get a crit or heal the damage, unconditional.
Yeah, and you can give it to Vanguard because you're already piercing.
And she's 100 bajillion. Hog you. Let's go.
Oh, you indeed.
Do I banish it first and then do the third check?
You banish it and draw, and then you do the third check.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so draw
And
forward
then
first,
third
and do
check.
the third.
Heal trigger.
Heal, you don't. I'm at 3.
Yeah, I don't heal, but I can give plus 10 to something. So if I give the 10k here, I think it's more annoying.
Yeah, I think it's good. All right, so my Guardians are going to get retired because you pierce through the power. I'm going to take 2 damage because you gave the crit. First check, I get an Eva. I'm going to go to damage. Second check, I get a crit. So
Nice.
I actually get the 5k on my side now. So now I'm
Oh.
18.
That was pretty lucky for me, actually. Need all the help I can get, though. I'm fighting DifferentFight right now.
I'm just a scrub, bro. I'm a nobody.
Okay, swing with the lowest one first. This is 23, 33. This is 28. Let's swing 28 into your guy.
So I need 15. So I'll give you a crit.
These go into the soul. Draw card. And I will swing this one as well, which is 20, 33.
So I'm going to block with a 20k front trigger. So I go to 38.
All right. These 2 go to soul, and I put a normal order from my drop. So good luck, have fun, come back.
How many cards in hand you got now?
A lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Well, goddamn. Okay. I'll go into main phase and I will set the blue research lab again.
I'm going to get flamed online for getting the OT against the beloved DifferentFight, dude.
No.
That's
It's all
crazy.
good. You gotta get the buffs. Get the buff. I'm gonna look at top 5 and call Imigrar from the top 5, and then shuffle my deck. When I set a set order, I have a bunch of effects go off at the same time. So I have Combine Rusher twice and Imigrar once. I'm gonna use all of them. I'm gonna Energy Blast 3 and call my Imigrar here, and it's gonna get plus 2k power. I'm gonna Counterblast 1 and call 1 Combine Rusher, and then I'm gonna Counterblast 1 again to call another Combine Rusher.
You see, this is another part of the game where I have no idea what I'm doing, is when I have to hold back my attacks to not give you counter blast.
Yeah, that's like the biggest level up that you can do as a player, is like learning how to control that side of like the tempo of the game.
I wonder if I should have hit you that much, actually.
Thing is, you gave OT and crit to Vanguard. If you checked another crit on your third check there, you would have just won.
That's true.
I'm going to use Eva's activate effect. So I have 4 research orders now. So I'm going to look at top 4 and add 1 to hand here. I'm going to add this one to my hand. and the rest is going to go to the bottom. I will use the Imigrar I called from the order, send that to Soul, and then search my deck for Poison in Paradise Eva, and ride her, and when she's ridden, she will search my deck for a research card, and add it to my hand. And then, because I didn't ride this turn, this time I do activate Persona Ride, so I'll draw one from the Persona Ride, and then everything gets plus 10k.
See, one thing I noticed about this game is that it feels like everything just suddenly activates when you get to grade 3.
Yeah, some decks are more aggro oriented and they do a lot more before that. General, because there's no mana curve, so like grade 3 is like the highest grade, so a lot of like that more explosive stuff that would happen at like, you know, like 5-6 play points in Shadowverse is like grade 3 basically for Vanguard.
So true.
And some effects are like if you have Persona ridden this turn, so then it's like kind of like turn 4, you know?
Right. Or strides.
Yeah, that too. Debating if I want to get a shield back to hand here, because I'm at 5, so if I don't heal, it's going to be pretty tough for me to survive here. So I think I'm going to use the experiment henceforth. So the effect is if I have 4 research orders, which I do right now, I can put it to Soul, countercharge 1, and then choose an Obscudate from my drop and add it to my hand. So I will add the grade 3 one to my hand. And Obscudate grade 3, I mean, I'll explain it when I call it this turn, but it's also a 10k shield, both when intercepts and also when placed from hand as well.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of attacks this turn.
Just 4. Not too bad. I'm going to use Blue Research Lab to rest 3 research cards and Soul Blast the Imigrar here, and then give plus 5k to my Vanguard here as well.
You know, Chris, I put my English Elementaria in here because I didn't think it would matter for these, but the stock really does feel different. I'm going to take it out for the next time.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit different. It does.
It really does. I thought it wouldn't be noticeable for me. Like, I thought I'd have to train my senses to figure out which one is Elementaria, but actually, I'll take it out for the next episode.
All good. I think I'm going to go into battle here. So I'm going to swing with this Combine Rusher, so when it attacks, because you're grade 3, it gets plus 10k. So it's going to be 30 to your Vanguard.
So that's 30, and your Vanguard is attacking for how much this turn?
He's going to be 33 too.
33.
This is also 30, and I'm calling another guy, and that's going to be much bigger.
See, I'm just thinking if I need damage to CB.
You want to use the Vanguard effect, so you definitely want at least 1 CB.
Yeah, that's right. Well, which ones should I guard? Well, I think I'll take this. Damage check.
All right, check.
Crit.
Ooh, he gets the defensive.
Plus 10k.
I guess I'll swing with Eva. And once again, I bind the original copy, and I can search my deck dropper hand for an Obscudate and call it. So I'm going to overcall the Combine Rusher here and call grade 3 Obscudate.
And he still gets plus 10k from Persona, right?
Yes.
And you haven't even boosted with Imigrar yet.
Nope.
Well, that's a big guy.
Obscudate says, when he attacks, if I have a set order in my order zone, he gets plus 5k. But if I have 3 or more, which I do, he gets plus 10 instead. So he's 23k base on its own. He also says, when he's placed, bind effect on rearguard circle, if I have 3 or more researches in my order zone, he gets an extra crit. And so Eva now, it's going to be 33 to Vanguard.
I'll use that then, and I will discard Good Luck, Have Fun.
I get a crit, so...
Oh, no.
Do I want to put you to 5 and aim for game next turn, or do I want to try and choke you? I think I can try and choke you with this. So I'm going to give the extra crit and power here to the Obscudate that already is 2 crit. And then second check, Imigrar, so nothing. Just going to go to hand.
So Obscudate is hitting for 3 damage.
Yes, he is going for lethal. All right, so Obscudate, when he attacks, he's going to get another plus 10k effect from his own effect. So he's going in with 13, 23, 33, 43, 10k boost, 53, 3 damage. So it's going to be 35k to guard.
That's a lot.
We gotta chop that hand down.
It feels a little bad, but I am going to perfect guard.
Okay.
I'll sack another Good Luck, Have Fun. This is why it's good to get it back from Poyoneko. I can use it as fodder.
And then Combine Rusher one more time. Gonna get plus 10k, so it's gonna be 30k to your 23.
I think I might need the damage.
Ooh.
Unless I don't need the damage.
Among
Great
Us.
stuff. Great analysis. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. This is a 15.
And I'm gonna rewrite the Eva at the end of the turn, and it's yours.
Persona Rido. Yippee!
All right.
You have 5 cards in hand?
I have 11 cards in hand.
Oh my god.
I mean, you have to keep in mind, I called 2 Combine Rushers and an Imigrar for using nothing for my hand.
So true. I'll use the...
And I'm gonna do it again.
Sumire, Energy Blast 3, search for Poyoneko. Are you even in there? Yes, you are.
You in there?
My deck's getting a little thin. It's kind of scary. I think I do call my grade 3. It's just a guy to attack.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Keep it swanging.
Do I do that?
All right.
So can I ask a question? If I have a guy here and a guy here, and I call a guy here, and the guy can call a guy, can I call that guy?
Yes, you can call that
Okay.
guy.
Sorry, that was a really stupid way of explaining it. I'm gonna use the power of Nakama here.
Uh-oh.
I cast the Regalist piece that you gave me.
Whoa!
To counter charge. Pretty epic.
Pretty epic. You got the counter charge.
Let me just double check what this card does. I barely ever do this play, but I'm trying to go for game this turn, so I'm gonna do my best. Gonzalez. When called to rearguard, oh, you choose a card from your drop and bind it. Oh, it's not that big a deal. Oh, I'll just do it.
I will bind one of my heals.
Battle phase. Let's go, boys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 exactly! Yatta!
Oh. He's in.
So you take minus 10k. If my soul has 10 or more cards, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and put it into soul. Okay. Which one has intercept?
I mean, technically these both, but Obfuscated is a 10k intercept.
He's the bigger guy, right? Okay, I'll put that guy into soul then.
Goodbye.
I'll just do that first. 23 into Vanguard.
23 on my virtually 3. This puts me to 23, and then I'll add another 5 from the intercept.
Attack with my Benny. Counterblast 1. She activates all of her effects. Number 1, she calls a card from the soul. Kagasumire, Freedom Violet. Number 2, she gains a drive. And number 3, she gains a crit. And Kagasumire, I will counterblast 1. Good point, Neko. So this is boosted by Gonzalez as well, which is another 8k.
31, right?
31, yeah. Is that a weird number?
I mean, you also have the plus 10k from putting me to minus 10, so I'm gonna just perfect guard this.
Yeah, that's true.
Discard in order.
First check. Okay.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Second check. Crit.
Ooh.
Third check. Crit.
Ooh, alright. Calm down, calm down.
Yeah, what the hell? 43 into your 3.
I will also perfect guard this one, teaching another order.
And the other one attacks too for 43 again.
Since I'm on 3, right, I go to 18. This is a 10k, so I go to 28. This is a 10k, I go to 38. There's a 5, so I go to 43. And then I don't have another 5k shield. It's gonna come down to the defensive, Igni. We're gonna have to see. You putting this into soul is literally what killed me.
That's crazy.
It's the shield that I'm missing. All right. First check. Oh my god. Over trigger.
No!
But it's still another damage, another damage. So
That's
first
right.
I draw. I'll give the 100 million here as well. Where's my
freaking wave?
Final check. Not a heal trigger. You got it.
Oh, that was hilarious. That you got the OT at the end though. I was so scared.
Oh man. I even with Eva's effect last turn, I took a front trigger to hand because I was like, I'm gonna need this 20k shield.
Okay, but I so sacked against you, man. There's no way I should have won that
that's I
normally.
mean, you deck like both of our decks are very similar in that they deck thin like crazy, so that once you reach like turn 5 onwards, it's like
all
the compression is so
triggers.
crazy that you expect the triggers to just start
That's so
rapid
true. Let me just
firing.
check. Dude, yeah, you're kind of right.
I was really hoping to see this Blitz order from one of my searches. In my opinion, one of like the really good weapons that the deck got in Divine Set 2. Soul Blast 1 to play it, and it gives my attacked unit plus 10k for every rested set order. It's like Soul Blast 1 30k shield or 40k shield, which is really, really strong.
Wow, Eva's, I understand why you like it now. It's so flexible. Like you said, you can go super fast. You can take it late where you just have all the triggers and yeah, that's really fun.
What's funny is that off of the OT, I drew into another perfect guard. I was like, no, not now.
If only. I had 2 PGs in hand too still.
Damn, yeah. It would have been hard to go through all your defenses too, I think. Because next turn, it's like, the strong part of Eva is that I basically Persona Ride every single turn until I run out of the Poison in Paradise Eva. And the firepower is pretty good too, but it does feel like Benny is, you farm so many cards that it is a bit hard to get through all your defenses.
I was super surprised at how good Sumire was here because she puts the order back into my hand. I basically got to PG for free because I'm not using those orders anyway, and I felt like that was so strong.
It is really good. It 100% is.
Thank you so much for the game, Chris. I had so much fun.
Of course, likewise. I'm glad I could also show you what Eva does. We got to show her firepower and ability to filter too, so I'm looking forward to who you're going to face next as well.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you coaching me through the game too. I'm still like figuring it out.
Of course, it is my job.
So I did get help. But I appreciate it.
No. I did nothing.
Everybody, make sure to check out DifferentFight over on... I mean, you already know him. Don't fuck around.
The Igni viewers don't know me.
YouTube.com/DifferentFight, Twitch.tv/DifferentFight, Twitter.com/DifferentFight. And where can we find you next? What's your next adventure?
I'm setting myself a challenge for this August to upload a short every day. Thanks to Igni for teaching me how to use a vertical plugin on OBS. But otherwise, yeah, mostly YouTube and Twitch. Got some events I'm going to, some vlogs to film and other fun stuff, and working on some bigger projects as well that are taking time that I can't say too much about.
Absolutely. So guys, if you're here on this channel from Shadowverse because of me, make sure to check out Different Fight. He is the Vanguard guy. And if you're here because of Vanguard, well, you're already there, so.
Right. Give some love to Igni as well. Make sure you sub to this channel, because if you're like me, I just want to see who else is going to play against, how he's going to level up. And hopefully we get the season finale. Igni goes to a BCS, get the vlog.
That would be crazy. As is tradition on the Twindrive channel, after I learn about a deck, I add it to my knowledge base of Cardfight Vanguard, represented by this mural. So we have Benny, we have Alestial from the first episode, and now...
It's my girl.
There she is!
Very nice.
It already feels a lot less lonely, especially because I know who the players these characters represent. It makes me, it's a heartwarming feeling that the mural is
in a year's time, I hope there's like no space on this.
Right? That's it for this episode. Tune in next week. Who will we fight next? There'll probably be a preview for the next episode at the end of this, actually. So roll that clip.
I should have.
Oh my god, it was a crit! Oh my god!